Can I help you? Take your hand off me. Hi, my name is Scott Rogers. I'm a master instructor in Kyusho Jitsu pressure point fighting. In this series, we're going to cover advanced pressure point fighting. We're going to learn in motion from a fighting position how to break through our opponent's attacks, land our own pressure point strikes. In addition to that, we're going to learn how to combine them with joint locking and throwing techniques. Everything you learn in the martial arts is a piece of the puzzle, whether it's punching, kicking, throwing, or pressure points. You cannot defeat your opponent using just one alone. You need to mix them together and be proficient. In order to do that, you need to know how to flow from one technique to another. And in this program, we're going to cover that. In order to defend ourselves, there's only 3 positions that we need to train in. One position is the one that I'm standing in right now, which is relaxed. This is the way you are most of the time. If I'm facing Dusan and I'm here and he punches me, I have to defend from this position. So all of my attacks have to bring my hands up. If he comes in low, I have to defend from this position. If he throws a hook, I have to defend before I can attack. Now, sometimes you will not be standing in this position. You'll have a chance to raise your hands before the attack. If you do, that's a benefit to you, but it's not something you can always count on. That's when we go into what we call a fighting position. There's only 2 positions to use that make sense: the hands outside and the hands in the center. And I will explain the difference between the 2. If I just stand in a basic boxing stance and he stands in front of me ready to punch, he has a choice to punch me straight, to punch me in a circle, to punch me going up. I have to determine what he's doing. If he's fast, that's going to be very difficult. If I choose to put my hands in this position, throw a circular punch, he's not going to throw this punch in a circle because he knows he can't hit me. So what I'm doing is telling him, go between my arms. And as soon as he does that, I'm prepared for it. So I've eliminated half of his punching. Now he can no longer throw circular punches, but he has to punch straight. Even better than that, though, is to take away his ability to throw straight punches. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If he can punch straight, that will be much faster than if I force him to constantly come around. So now, if I place my hands in the center, when he goes to punch very straight. He's not going to punch my hand, so he's going to go around my hand, which will make it easy for me to get inside on him and throw my attacks. Couple of important basics, no matter how advanced you are, you still need to cover these, is that your hands stay in your center line. Your center line is the imaginary line that runs from your nose down your center to your belly button. Your hands stay here, and they have to stay in his center line, your opponent. So if I'm facing him and he moves to the side, and I stay here, this is no good, because now he can attack in a straight motion. So when he moves, I move with him, move back the other way, and I stay. The second really, really important thing is I have to move forward. If I move backwards or I don't move, being able to defend against these punches becomes more difficult. So if he stays here and he throws a right punch and I stay here, if my hands don't work perfect, I'm going to get caught with that punch. But if he throws that same punch and I move in, I'm already inside the punching range. I'm also inside this punching range. It's going to be very hard for him to hit me. So basically what we're looking for is to stay in the center line, and we're looking for the opportunity to move forward. The last thing that I think about is blocking his hands. If my hands are in the middle and I move forward, the block will happen by itself. What that means is that in the beginning series, we learn to block with our hands. And that's good as a beginner, but as you get a little more advanced, we just move in and attack right away. The action of us moving in and our hands in the center will automatically block anything that's coming at us, pretty much making us impossible to hit, which is a good thing. Most common types of punches to be thrown are similar to boxing punches. We have the left jab, the straight right, hooks, and uppercuts. It's very rare for somebody in a self-defense or fighting situation to start throwing chops and spinning back fists. Usually you see that in a sporting type of event. So the punches we're going to learn to defend and we're going to concern ourselves with are those basic boxing type punches. So we're going to start with the left jab. If I face my opponent and my hands are up, In order for him to throw that punch, he has to step. That's another rule that we have to remember. If he's in his stance, stay there for a second, fighting position, and I'm here, and he can punch me without stepping, it's very difficult to defend that. Always force your opponent to take a step. So what you're going to react to is his step, not his hand. So when he takes his step, I take my step. All I did was look at my target, which is going to be the stomach 9 target, right next to the Adam's apple. We press it. When we hit it, it will either knock him completely out or stun him enough to allow us to follow up immediately. What I do is focus on that spot and move in. This hand picked off the punch as I went forward. I didn't mentally concentrate on blocking first and then hitting. I hit, and this hand just blocked by itself. It sounds a little strange, but if you step forward and your hands are in the proper position, your hands will move to defend. Because when your hands are in the middle and you see something coming on that side, your body naturally defends it. If I saw it coming on this side, it would defend on this side. So defense is not my concern at all. It's really offense. And if I'm very quick punch, I'll be in before his punch is even extended, which is preferably what I want to do. What we do with the drill is we start slow. We get a good distance and we move forward and we step back. Move forward. As soon as I see his foot move, I'm in there. I don't wait for him to land. As soon as he steps, he should be hit by the time his foot touches the floor. Once I get used to that, we move around slowly. And we move in. Move around and move in. Different directions, he punches, move in. The most important thing is that I step forward every time. There's a tendency after 2 or 3 punches to just use your hands. If he was punching a little bit faster, there's a chance of me getting struck that way. I always want to move in. Whether I strike or whether throw your punch, I'm going for a grappling situation. I still want to move in. That's my safest place to be. In close range, I can strike him. It's a little more difficult for him to strike me. And as I move in, I'm moving behind my strike, which is that chop to the side of the neck. So watch one more time. He punches. I come in with my chop. Let's just turn for a second. I'm not going to hit him hard. I just want you to see his reaction. He's a little stunned. Right from there, it's very easy for me to bring him into an arm lock. So we're going to break that down slow and show you how to do that. We move in and we chop. From here, I let this come around and I hook it into my neck. I grab my wrist, step back, and I bring him down. All right, let's try that from a different direction. All right, he punches, we move in. Reach over, grab the arm, step back, bring him down. Once he's here, we can strike him or just pull him down to the ground and submit him this way with a joint lock. All right, so last time, he punches, chop, underneath, bring him down. From here I decide, do I want to drop him to the ground or do I want to continue by striking him or chopping him? All right. Second technique that we can use from the jab is once we get inside, we can sweep him down with an outside leg throw. So he throws his punch, I hit, and I sweep him. As soon as he hits the ground, we pin him, press behind the jaw at triple warmer 17 with our thumb, and push towards his nose. All right? Let's try it again slow. He throws his punch, we move in. We grab wherever we are. If he started pulling the punch back, it wouldn't matter. Step behind, hook the leg, push, pin our knee into his ribs, and with our thumb go behind the jaw, push his head to the ground. Always maintaining control of the arm. If the opponent gives you something or you take something, don't give it back. If he grabbed my wrist and I grabbed him, he doesn't get it back. I bring him down, I hit him, I do whatever. I don't let go to hit him with this hand. In this situation, once I'm here and he goes down, he's giving me his arm, he doesn't get it back. If I strike with this hand or I use my feet to kick. All right, come back up. Ready? We're going to do the same thing now. We have 2 techniques that we practice. We practiced the arm lock and we practiced the throw. We're going to move around like before in a little bit of freestyle, and I'm going to look for an opportunity to do one of those 2 techniques. So I face him. When he's ready, he punches. I move in and I sweep. He comes back up. We move around some more. I move in and I arm lock. I help him back up. We move around a little bit more. I wait. He wasn't close. I move in and I sweep. Okay? Now, on that last one, I took a small step back. The reason was I wasn't prepared. So when he was here, I was a little too close. I got out of range. It's okay to move backwards to get out of range, but not to defend, meaning punch. You can't defend going backwards because then the next punch is going to hit you. If I need to completely move out of range, that's fine. Now when he comes after me, I move in. This is our left jab. The next technique we're going to defend is the right punch. When I say left and right, we're assuming that both parties have left leg in the front and they're punching accordingly. Obviously, if we switched, everything would be opposite. It would be a right jab and a left straight. Right now, we have the left side in the front. He punches straight with the right hand this way. This is what we want to defend. This is a little more dangerous than the left jab because if it does get through, there's a lot more power behind it. So we're going to take our same fighting position. Now, when he throws his punch this time, I don't want to chop this side of his neck because I'm leaving myself exposed. So this hand is going to shoot to palm under the jaw, stomach 5. Right, travel the eye down, right under the jaw with the palm strike. So when he throws his punch, I move in and I hit to that spot with my right hand protecting my face, just in case. If I do this really properly, throw your punch, I'm going to hit him before this punch extends. And when I strike him, that punch is done. Of course, nothing works that way in the real world, so we have the other hand up just in case. So now, as we face off, he moves in, I move in and strike. Okay? We move around a little bit, I move in and strike. Sorry, ready? Again. I move in and strike. Okay? Now, once we get the basics down where we can move in and hit him comfortably, we're going to take the left hand, we're going to lift it, circle around, and lock his shoulder. So we have him in a shoulder lock now. Now I can hold him. If he punches me with the other hand, I just lift the lock higher. Or I bring him to the mat. Okay, let's try that again from the other angle. So he throws his punch, I move in. He pretty much runs into the palm strike. Front hand, my left, I circle and I grab. If he's about to punch me, I lift it a little higher or I twist. Once he's on the mat, I could continue twisting to apply pressure this way. Or, just come back a little bit this way, I can mount him and apply more pressure if I want to make sure that he doesn't get away. It's a very painful lock. If you do it slowly so you don't injure your partner's shoulder. Ready? Show it one more time. All right, I'm here. I move in, circle. I make sure he feels it. I bring him down, squat down, and continue to twist till he taps. Let's come up. All right, second technique now. We stop the punch again. We slide to the wrist and we turn it out. When we do this, let me see this hand. We're grabbing the heart 5 point and the lung 8 point, and we're digging our fingers in as best we can. This will give us a little more power and weaken his arm slightly. So he throws the punch, especially if I knock him back, I'll be able to catch it. Once I get into this position, this is what I call a power position because there's a lot of stuff I can do. I can press his wrist to bring him down. Once I press his wrist, I could bring him down to the mat. Or, once I get him to this position, we can use the triple warmer 11 point to rub and bring him down in an armbar. So, as he throws his punch, I bring him over and I rub, bringing him face down and controlling him this way. All right. He throws his punch. From the same position, I can take his thumb, put it under his body, turn around so we can see, lift it up, and lock him in a wrist lock here. 2 hands if I need it. So basically what I do is I put him in a wrist lock, but he can't flip because my body's behind him. All right, so we'll show that one more time. Once we get him to here, we take our thumb and we grab his thumb. And we grab the meat portion of his hand. We push it underneath. Okay? And we apply pressure with our wrist. If he gives me a hard time, this is when I strike him on the temple points or behind the neck. Most of the time, though, if he tries to punch with that hand, I can just squeeze and stop him from moving completely. And I could pretty much control him this way or release him and throw him if I need be. All right? So let's try that one more time. So now we move in, we hit him, we bring him around. Now we decide, maybe I don't want to do any of that. Maybe I just want to come up and kick him. Or maybe I just want to throw him.